Coming. Hi. Welcome to my indoor shed. Today I'm going to reach out to you and see if you can point me in the direction of solving a problem that I have. I want to extend my crappy table saw with a rip fence so that I can rip cut boards to larger sizes than the rip fence that the saw come with can enables me to do. I've been struggling with this problem for over a week, and the reason is that I have very special restrictions that I want to apply to my design. So let me show you how I think about the restrictions I have, and you can decide for yourself if you have a design that will work for me. As you can see, my indoor shed is very small, so for reason I will get into later, I decided to design all my tool tables in here in a modulus of 17 centimeters. What that means is that my miter saw is already on a table that's 51 by 51 centimeters. I have a sideboard over there that's 102 times 34, no, it's 102 times 51 centimeters, and the sideboard here is 102 times 34 centimeters. And my table saw will have a footprint of 51 times 68 centimeters. I also need help with the clamping of this rip fence, because as I told you, the rip fence must not extrude outside the 68 centimeters limits here, and so any clamping needs to be on the inside and of course on the outside of the rip fence. So I can't have this on the outside because then I can't put any table, the existing table around here, against this and use it as a support, and I have very little space, so I don't think I want the clamping on the outside. I also need the table, the final design, to have a tabletop that's level with this crosscut sled, because the top of this crosscut sled is now level with the top of the other tables in here. It's also level with the table of the miter saw. So let's take a look at this saw and see how it is designed and what design options I think I have. Let me remove the crosscut sled and replace it with something that can model the tabletop with my new rip cut fence. The existing rip cut fence is simply this extruded aluminium rod that clamps like this. Now I'm going to remove this and then figure out to put something else here that extrudes further in that direction, so I get a longer distance between the blade and the rip fence. So this is the design of the ruler that comes with the saw. It's just a T-slot with the nuts sliding in this T-slot, and then we have 3 bolts fastening it to the saw. We have current width of the saw is, well, roughly 64.4 centimeters. So having the restriction of modulo 17 centimeters, I have 68 centimeters to use. That's the closest one. And that gives, well, I have roughly 3.5 centimeters to use for any extensions that I put on the outside here. I removed the extension table so that we can more easily see what we have to deal with. So we can fasten some extrusion here on the outside or the inside, so that we can have the fence resting on it here, and we can do the same on the back side here. We have a gap on the inside here that is roughly 20 22 millimeters. If we put something on the outside, then we have roughly 15 millimeters on the front and back. Here we can see that with this melanin board on the table saw, we get it roughly to the same height as the other board I have here and at the same level as the miter saw. And that's what I want in my indoor shed, so that everything is leveled when I'm using my tools. I would like to be able to put the rib fence at least 60 centimeters from the saw blade. In that way I can cut 120 centimeters boards in half and smaller. The obvious solution is to fasten something that extrudes here that I can fasten the fence to and slide back and forth. But I can't wrap my brain around what that could be. I've been looking at aluminium rods and tubings. I've been looking at aluminium extrusions. I've been thinking about using the wood I have, but it's a little bit too thick, so I don't get it straight. I have other form of wood that will fit here, but then maybe it's too weak. Also, I've been looking at linear railings and linear railways, but then I figured out that I don't think they will work very well with all the sawdust in here. So whatever I use as linear railings, linear guides, it needs to be able to work also when there's a lot of sawdust. So I suppose that's why the rib fence constructions that are out there look like they look. I haven't seen anyone using linear railways or any of that stuff, so I suppose that's out of the question. One thing I can do is put this kind of melanin board on top of here, screw it down to the correct size, or rather I can screw down one that extrudes here, and then I can put T-slots into the surface and then have the rib fence slide on that. But then I need to use my router to round out perfectly straight grooves here to put in the T-slots. I need to buy T-slots and so on, and well, it's a lot of work. I should mention another idea I have, to put the whole extension for the rib fence on a totally separate table. I can go for a table with the rib fence on it here that has the 68 centimeters depth, and then I have, how long do I then need it? I need 60 here at least, and that's 40 centimeters, 40 centimeters from the cut there. So I can make this then 51, 68 by 51. That's actually exactly the same size as this one. So if I have a 68 by 51 centimeter board here, I can then mount the rib fence here, and I can mount it in such a way that it actually reaches all the way in here with some clever design. So that's an option. But then then this table needs to be designed in such a way that I can flip this upside down and get a flat surface or some other tool here when I'm not needing the rib fence. Otherwise it will be in the way when I move around the furniture in here, because, let me repeat this, the design goal is that every table in here should be at the same height, and every table should be able to convert into a flat unoccupied surface. So in that case, in that way I can always rearrange things here in my small indoor shed, so that I always have support surfaces for for any size of material I bring in here, and I'm trying to design it so I can actually manage standard boards that are 120 centimeters by 250 centimeters. This board here is 16 millimeters. It's rather unusual, so that's also a restriction, that these boards doesn't come in full sheet boards, at least not where I can buy them. So if I'm going to use these, I have to glue them together, because I can't find one that's wide enough and long enough for the purpose here. Maybe that side table thing is not the way to go. There's a lot of details here, and there's a lot of design I can go with, and I just have to find the simplest one and the quickest one. The details is just too many. I can't put my foot down and go for any solution. And also, I don't want to make a perfect rib fence, because this is a crappy saw. I only have a crappy crosscut sled and so on. So I just want to do something reasonably cheap, quick and functional for now, so that I can bootstrap to the next level and then move on from there. I have a problem, and the problem is that I have a million ways of doing this, and I want to do it in a quick and easy way, and with a small amount of materials, and not too fancy, because this is crappy and I don't want to put too much work into making something fancy that I'm later going to have to redo anyhow. And I'm looking for a simple solution, and I can't seem to find one. So do you have an idea? How do I make some extensions to my table saw that enables me to put the rib fence here from 0 out to 60 centimeters from this saw? Any ideas? Do I miss anything? I'm not sure if I conveyed all the restrictions I have to design this extended rib cut fence system, but I tried, and you are free to help me and put any comments down there, or point me to YouTube videos that has interesting designs that I can look onto and be inspired by. Okay, I try to put all the details out there for you, and try to frame the problem the way I see I have it. And now I'm reaching out to you. Do you have any ideas how I can solve this? Or point me in a direction where I can get inspiration to solve this. So please leave a comment below, and also, if you want to, watch coming videos and see how I solve this problem, if I do. And until then, thank you for watching, and I see you next time.
If you like my videos, feel free to do nothing.
Just grab a cup of coffee
and enjoy.